Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Philly Fast Break podcast. This is our special Super Bowl 53 edition. I, of course, have our NFL handicapper, Dan Erda, on the line. He's going to help me break down the game, all the player props, the non-player props, the absolutely ridiculous props, everything under the sun that you can bet on this Sunday during and around the big game. Before we enter that discussion, I do want to thank our sponsor, JoannaPlatt.com, for all your life and relationship coaching needs, and also the Love Always Joe podcast, available either through the site or through iTunes. So check it out, Joanna-Platt.com, and talk about what you guys are doing for the big game and get on the same page. I'm sure that'll help your relationship out. So thank you to JoannaPlatt.com for sponsoring the podcast. And now let's talk to Dan. So Dan, Sunday, big game. We've been gearing up for this all season. First, what do you think of the matchup? Is this the matchup you were hoping for, like non-Eagles related aside? But looking back at the conference championship games, how did
No. Well, this is the matchup that nobody who does not live in New England hopes for. I assume that almost everyone else, like myself, wanted to see the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I wanted to see Andy Reid get a shot at a ring. The last thing in the world I wanted to see was the Patriots back in there again. It's not even fun. We're not doing anything for the game. We're basically going to watch it on the game the same way we watch like Sunday Night Football on our couch.
Wow, so not even going all out for this one. It's just very blasé celebration for you, huh?
I mean, it's the Super Bowl, so we'll watch, we'll pay attention. My wife and I started a movie podcast. I'm more interested in what films debut their trailers in the during the commercials than I am in the game.
That's right. So yeah, check out the End Scene podcast. Give us a sneak peek. What exactly are we looking for this Sunday, trailer wise?
I think that there's going to be an Aladdin trailer, which is kind of a big deal. There's been like a teaser trailer that doesn't really show much. Maybe we'll actually see the genie, Will Smith as the genie, which is kind of what people are waiting to see. That would be kind of cool. I know there's going to be a Hobbs and Shaw trailer. It actually is going to be online Friday, but they do have a Super Bowl spot. And those are the two that I know of. Other than that, I kind of didn't read what else they're trying to play because I want to be surprised a little bit.
Gotcha. Yeah. Of course, not only movie trailers, but all the commercials, they all play a big part in the Super Bowl festivities. I know a lot of people just watch for the commercials, and I kind of hate now that they're all leaked ahead of time and you can watch them on YouTube now. I don't really like it.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I stay away from those entirely, and so I'll be seeing all those for the first time this Sunday. This creep culture that we're a part of, like Christmas, people start getting ready for in, early November now, and now we can't even wait till the Super Bowl to watch the Super Bowl commercials. Like, be patient, people.
Yeah, and then my favorite thing is the companies that don't feel like actually getting a Super Bowl commercial. They make a commercial that's somewhat risque, and they claim that it was banned from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was GoDaddy's original move, and I think they actually were. I don't know whether or not it's true, but maybe that there actually was truth to that. But I think GoDaddy was the first to kind of fit that description.
Now, if you look around Twitter, every single company just posted a commercial being like, "This was banned from the Super Bowl." It's like, nah, you just didn't want to pay $3.5 million.
Yeah, but good marketing choice by them though.
Devour is actually doing that. That's like their whole campaign, is that their ads are too risque for the Super Bowl. And basically all of their ads are based around, call it like food porn being real porn.
Okay.
And it's kind of, they're funny. They're absolutely funny.
Is that like a Grubhub type app? I don't know what Devour is.
Devour, it's like a frozen food company where like you can get like crazy pizza. I think they have pizzas and other kind of frozen food that you just get in the supermarket and heat up.
Okay, so it's not even like a delivery box thing. It's just something.
Nope.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess I won't find out more because they don't have a Super Bowl commercial. All right, so that'll all be fun. We're looking forward to watching those. But the main event is the game itself, and Patriots Rams. We saw this back in 2002 to kick off the New England dynasty when they were the underdogs in that one, and they upset the heavily favored St. Louis Rams. St. Louis Rams at the time. So now that they're the LA Rams, and the Rams are 2.5 point underdogs in this one. So Dan, I don't really have a good feel on the game itself as far as who's going to cover or the total or anything. All my plays this Sunday are going to be prop bets, but what's your thoughts on the matchup and if you have any plays on the line or the total?
I have no play on the total. I like the Rams, and I have the Rams getting +3. It's available at 3 at Bovada. A lot of times when I talk about line shopping, people are like, Dan, I don't really take this as serious as you. I don't have access to a bunch of different books. Bovada is probably one of the most accessible ones for anyone in America. It's very simple. They take deposits by credit card. So if you like the Rams and you want to get a full field goal, all you got to do is deposit at Bovada, and you can take them +3. I really like this line. I think the Rams are going to win outright. I'd rather take them getting the full field goal. No Super Bowl game has ever ended on 1 or 2, but a few have ended on 3. So that's why I think that extra half a point is extremely important, aside from the fact that 3 is such a key number. But the Patriots are a dynasty. 80% of the public's on the Patriots, all that, yada, yada, yada. But if you actually look back, the Patriots have lost to a backup quarterback and Eli Manning twice, who's arguably worse than a backup quarterback. The wins that they've had in the Brady era have been by 3, 3, 3, 4, which is the game where the Seahawks did not run the ball in and chose to try to throw and threw the interception, and 6, which was in overtime in a game they trailed 28-3. The Patriots just haven't dominated teams in the Super Bowl, and you're getting a full score, which a field goal is technically a score, on the underdog here. I'm more than happy to take it. I love the fact that 80% of the public's on the Patriots. I don't think Vegas, or not Vegas. People always say Vegas set the line. Vegas doesn't set the line. They go up offshore first. But bookmakers wouldn't set a line knowing so much of the public would be on one side for the biggest gambling event of the year if they didn't think that there was some value in that line. A couple power rankings sites that I've looked over actually came to the Rams at about a 0.5 to 1 point favorite overall. You can make the case that they're the better team, and I'm going to take the field goal. I might throw a little bit on the money line. I do think the Rams win, but give me those 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that would just wave aside the difference between getting in 2.5 and 3, that doesn't make any sense to me. 3 being such a key number. If you can get 3, you definitely get that. That's a huge difference there.
And the same, if you like the Patriots, and your book is offering 3, there's plenty out there that have 2.5 right now. So if you do like the Patriots, and you don't agree with me, don't bet at Bovada. Find somewhere else.
Yep, absolutely. I think to your point about the Patriots, they're all close. I think every Super Bowl in this recent run they've been in has changed leads in the fourth quarter at some point, I believe. So that speaks to, they're not blowing teams out. All these games have been close. A lot of them have been exciting in the last few minutes. Probably lends itself to be a close game. And if you think it's definitely going to be a close game, all things being equal, you would want to get the points rather than having to give points. I don't know. I think, as I'm going to touch on with my props, I think the difference between Goff being a young guy in his first Super Bowl versus the Brady-Belichick combo that's just, been there so many times, and this is such a they have the routine down leading up to the game, and they won't be fazed by the moment. There's the thing against I guess it was against Atlanta when because they had the big second half comeback, and they had actually practiced the halftime show being extra long, so they weren't as affected by that as the Falcons were, that long gap. I don't know what it could be this year, but Belichick is just the kind of guy that he thinks of things like that, and he knows what to expect leading up to this game. So, if I had to pick, I'd take Patriots -2.5. But I don't really have a good feel either way. The Rams have been one of the best offensive teams for the majority of the season, and they have the best player in the game in Aaron Donald. Obviously Brady's greatest of all time is his position, but where they are in their careers, Donald is the best player in this game, so he could single-handedly blow things up. And be the difference maker in this one. So, we'll see. I think it's going to be very close. And as you alluded to, if you're expecting a close game, get the points. And if you can get the Rams +3, that's probably what you should do. But yeah, I would probably lean -2.5 with the Pats, but not a great feeling either way on that one. So I'm focused on the props this weekend.
I was going to say there's some props you do have a good feeling about, though.
Absolutely. So let's dive into those. You have 7, I have 6. So we're just going to go back and forth with our picks. And why don't you give us our first one here?
I'll give you the first one. It's the biggest long shot. I feel like I take one of these every year, and you ridicule me for it, and rightfully so because they haven't won yet.
So we'll call this the burning money play.
The burning money play, the long shot MVP play. Greg Zuerlein plus 6,600. That's 66-1 to win the Super Bowl MVP. Now, the first thing I always get off my chest before I even go into anything, I don't think it's going to happen. I think 66-1 is excellent odds. When I say that I like this play, it's not like I'm saying, it's going to happen. He's going to win the MVP. A kicker's never won the MVP in the Super Bowl before. But at 66-1, if there was an MVP of the NFC Championship game, he would have gotten that. The dude has a cannon for a leg. The game-winning field goal that was over 50 yards was good by so far. That might have been the longest field goal in NFL history if it needed to be, if it would have counted. Luckily, he didn't even need it to be that far, though. I could see a scenario where it's like 26-26 as time is winding down, and Zuerlein kicks a 50-yarder to win the game for his 5th field goal. Goff doesn't have a great game. Maybe Gurley doesn't have a great game. And if he kicks 5 field goals and a game winner at 66-1, screw it. I'll put $5 on. $5 to win $330. Why not?
You might be the type of person that wants to keep your $5. That would be my counter argument.
I think I'm just the type of person that wants $330.
All right, so I do not see a kicker winning Super Bowl MVP. They could play it 66 times, and I don't think there would be one time where it happened. I think they'd find a way to, if it was such a low-scoring game that they felt a kicker would be in the running, they would give it to whatever defensive player made some key plays, maybe Donald or Sue getting a lot of sacks that kept the Patriots off the scoreboard. I can't endorse that. Even if 66-1.
Even if he kicks a 57-yarder as time expires and no one else really has a standout game.
Yeah, if it's like 6-3 and there were punts the entire game and
Johnny Hecker.
Yeah, I think Johnny Hecker would have as good an opportunity as Greg Zuerlein. Maybe he could throw for a touchdown on a fake punt or something.
It's foreshadowing. One of my props will involve something like that.
Oh my God, no. This is already off the rails.
That's what they're supposed to be. For Super Bowl props, I don't handicap them the way I handicap the games. It's for fun. I'm not putting hundreds of dollars on these. They're just for fun and entertainment. And hey, maybe you get lucky and hit something crazy.
All right. So Dan is going with Greg Zuerlein, 66-1 to win MVP. All right. I'll try to get us back into the realm of possibility here. My first play, I like either team will have a successful 4th down conversion. This is going off at -180. New England has converted a 4th down in 4 straight playoff games. They're 2 for 3 this postseason. The Rams are 3 for 3 this postseason, and Sean McVay caught a lot of heat for kicking the field goal last week or 2 weeks ago, last game against the Saints, instead of trying to convert on 4th down and get the touchdown. So I think he'll be extra, cognizant of being aggressive, going for 4th downs, and the Pats are always kind of hyper-aggressive in those situations, going for 4th downs. And then you always have just, if a team falls behind by a lot, they'll start going for 4th downs out of desperation. So I think both these teams are, more inclined than the usual teams to be aggressive and go for it in those situations. And I think the league's just kind of trending in that direction as a whole. So I'm taking either team will have one, -180. Feels like easy money to me.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if not one 4th down was converted. I don't like to lay -180 on many things, but yeah, I think of it, it's not even 2-1, and I definitely think that if they played this game 2 times, it would happen once. All right, yeah, I like it.
All right, Dan, if you don't like laying -180, you're going to hate my biggest bet of the week, which I'm going to end with. So
Oh man,
We'll get to
I'm
that at the
excited.
end.
Lots to look forward to here.
All right, so what do you got next for us?
This one, unless I'm missing something, I don't understand this line whatsoever. It is. Hold on, I want to get the exact wording right from the website. It is. Will Jim Nance or Tony Romo say the word dynasty? Yes, at minus 150. How would they not? How is that so low? I think that's a. I don't use the word lock, but I feel like at some point they're going to talk about Brady's dynasty and the Patriots dynasty.
Yeah, that seems good to me. What was that on your personal book? I didn't actually see that prop on either of mine that I checked.
It's on. I actually saw it on a couple. CBS Sportsline released it on their website, but in terms of book, it's on betdsi.com.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see how they really get around that. They are a dynasty. This is, and you have the whole thing with the Rams Patriots game 17 years ago starting off the dynasty, so they're going to discuss that or mention it at some point, and that would be a natural tie-in for them to say the word. So, yeah, I absolutely agree. That feels like a winner to me. So Jim Nance or Tony Romo during the broadcast will say the word dynasty. Yes, minus 150. That's Dan's second play. I like it a lot. So I will give my play that's related to the broadcast now to kind of segue off of that. I have the broadcast will mention Sean McVay's age over 1.5 times, minus 250. It's, kind of the main storyline for the Rams is that McVay's 33 years old. He's the young up-and-comer. All the coaches in the league that are getting hired right now, or it's the joke that if they have Sean McVay's phone number, that's good enough to get them the job. You have Brady and Belichick are the oldest duo for coach quarterback in Super Bowl history, and the natural counterpoint to that is McVay being so young. I think, anytime they talk about him, they're going to say, we can't believe he's doing this at just 33 years of age, and he'll whip out some crazy gadget play. They'll say it again, and I feel like I don't see how they don't say it at least twice during the game. It feels like anytime people talk about him, that's what they talk about. And there's a lot of juice on it, but I don't see how it loses, so I don't really mind putting up extra juice for it.
I like that. It's just you never like. The only thing that worries me is if they say something like, for a man, a young man, a man at such a young age, or something like that, and they don't actually say the age, and they just like hint around it. That's the only thing I'd be worried about.
Yeah, sure, but you only have to mention it twice. It's not like 4 times or something. I don't know. I feel like
does the site specify, is it when the broadcast starts or is it after kickoff?
So it says broadcast mentions.
So I think I like that a lot because I'll probably say it before the game too, and then I'll mention it at least once during the game.
It's a lock to say it at least once.
I agree.
It's, do they say it a second time at any point? And
right.
I think they have to. I don't know.
I like it.
All right, what do you got next for us?
All right, another one from BetDSI. This isn't a fun one. Will any animal other than a horse be in the Budweiser Clydesdale commercial? Yes, minus 130. The commercial leaked on Twitter, and there are other animals in it.
So you're putting your entire savings on this, I assume?
At BetDSI, the props have a $50 win max.
All right, so you're winning $50 guaranteed.
Unless for some reason the leak, they don't use that commercial or they tweak it because too many people are creating multiple accounts and betting these or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, if the commercial is the one that leaked on Twitter, there are other animals in it. And even if it's not, I still think there's probably going to be other animals in it.
Is it possible they put a fake commercial out there to throw people off the scent?
To get those $50 wins?
Yeah, it's a Vegas conspiracy, and they said, "Hey, we've really been taking a beating lately. The Pats keep winning. Everybody's betting on them. We really we need a win with these props. Can you just put out a fake one that has non-horses in there?"
Well, in all seriousness, if we're being, that's fun, all funny and stuff, but like I do wonder, like the stuff about like what the broadcasters say and how many times they say this and what they can talk about. I do wonder, like if they're told, like, "Hey, we need you not to talk about the point spread," or "We need Tony, you can't correctly guess more than 7 plays," which is the line on that. Like I wonder if they're ever spoken to about that.
Yeah, it's definitely something to think about. So Will an animal other than a horse be in the Budweiser commercial? Yes. Appears to be a lock. What was the juice on that?
Minus 130.
Minus 130. So bet that if you're able to up to the $50 prop max and get yourself some free money, folks. I don't have a Bet DSI account. I'm probably not going to start it for $50, but yeah, if you have it, do it. All right, good one, Dan. That's the kind of sure winners we need here. All right, so next up, I am taking Jared Goff will throw an interception. That's minus 135. I think, as I kind of alluded to, young quarterback, first time in the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick's going to dial up whatever schemes he needs to, confuse, frustrate a guy that hasn't, been around the block a whole lot. And Goff, he's great. He makes a lot of good throws, but he's also very inconsistent. He just, he throws some real head scratchers sometimes. It's easy to see him sailing one, Pat's guy coming down with it. Ever since Cooper Kupp went out of the lineup, his effectiveness has dropped significantly. Here's been his game logs since that Kupp injury, and he went out of the lineup. He had the crazy game against KC where on Monday Night Football, and he did not throw a pick in that. Then he threw picks in 3 straight games against the Lions, Bears, and Eagles. Then he ended the regular season against the Cardinals and 49ers where he didn't throw picks. I'm just going to kind of throw those out because Cardinals and 49ers defenses were garbage. Dallas playoff game, he did not. Saints, he did. So looking at that, 4 of his last 8. So you think that would be a coin flip. But obviously except for Dallas, all of the teams he played that had good defenses, he did throw a pick. Patriots have a pretty good defense, and I expect Belichick to scheme something up in the 2 weeks he had to prepare. I think Goff will throw an interception as a result. Minus 135. Not my favorite prop. I think there's, he certainly could have a good game and not throw one, but I like it.
Yeah, and if he throws a Hail Mary, maybe Rob Gronkowski gets the pick playing safety.
Yeah, he's out there. You don't want him on the crazy lateral plays as we saw in the loss to the Dolphins, but he's definitely able to knock down a Hail Mary. So I'll be interested if that situation comes up and he's back out there after what we saw against Miami.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see if Belichick learns that lesson.
That was weird. I would just be curious what they do as a result of that one.
Like you're throwing out like real legitimate props about the game, and I'm throwing out stuff like what will be higher, Donald Trump's approval rating as of 2/4/19 or the longest field goal in the game. I'm picking the field goal at minus 130. As of today, the approval rating is 43. Can't imagine it going too many percentage points higher. And I think there's going to be a 45 or longer field goal in the game.
All right, so longest field goal will be longer than the number will be higher than Trump's approval rating. What's the line on that?
Minus 130.
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's a field goal longer than that. I don't think in the last 10 years there's been anything longer than 46. But yeah, even 45, 46 would get you there. So that's fine. And we definitely know Zerline has the leg to...
Yeah, we also have 2 really good kickers that could kick a 48, 50-yarder if necessary.
Yeah, without a doubt. And Zerline... That's great. You say, oh, well, it's great that he has that leg, but it also leads you to, if you're Sean McVay, you're more inclined to attempt those kind of field goals because you're more confident that he is able to succeed in those situations. So
it's going to be really hard for him to win the MVP if he doesn't kick one or two in that.
Yeah, you're really banking on the Zerline angle. It's a little concerning that you're putting all your eggs in the Zerline basket, but
doesn't everybody watch the Super Bowl for the kickers?
Yeah, the kickers and the Budweiser commercial based on your plays so far. That's all you're really focused on.
Get started.
All right, so longest field goal will be a higher number than Donald Trump's approval rating, so that is a minus 130 bet. Dan's taking that side with the longer field goal. All right, next I have. So my next 2 kind of tie together. a little bit. They both have to do with the New England passing game. My first one, Julian Edelman will have over 83.5 receiving yards. That's at minus 115. So since Wes Welker left in 2013 and Edelman became the primary slot receiver for the Patriots, he's had more than 80 yards in 10 of 12 playoff games. The line's at 83.5. He's been doing great of late. He's Brady's main option in the passing game. Aside from James White, who also gets a lot of receptions. But as far as passes downfield, Edelman's the guy he looks for. And 83.5 seems like a reasonable number. I'm taking the over there.
I agree. A lot of times, like during the regular season, you'll see teams have different game plans for different games. When the games really matter, such as a Super Bowl, they go back to the basics and they go back to the guys who've been there before and done it before. And he always seems to step up in that spot.
Yep. So he's as you said, he's been there before. He's the guy Brady looks to in when that 3rd and 10 against the Chiefs and you really need something, it's either him or Gronk. Those are the two guys he's turning to. So 83.5, I don't think he'll have any problem with that one. So all right, what do you got next for us, Dan?
What color will the liquid be poured on the winning coach? And I have clear at plus 160. Last week, somebody tweeted at Todd Gurley and asked him what Gatorade they use on the Rams sideline. Gurley replied to the fan and said they use Ice Punch, which is clear, which is white. So if the Rams win, you're basically getting the Rams at plus 160 right there, plus whatever other odds you get if the Patriots have a clear liquid as well.
All right. That's good. There's some research behind that. I don't have anything to add. I don't know anything about the Gatorade colors, but I like that good investigative research there. So, all right. So what?
That's another thing though, where if there like too many people saw that, you guys are gonna have to switch it up on the sidelines. You can't be having Ice Punch this week.
Yeah, but if that's what they've been doing all season and it's gotten them this far, athletes are so superstitious they would never change it up just because somebody told them to. They tell them to screw off.
I also know blue is usually it's never going to be blue because blue is the one Gatorade that in order to get the blue Gatorade, the person on the sidelines actually has to put a powder in the clear Gatorade, and they're always too lazy and no one feels like doing that.
All right, so
that blue.
Avoid blue at all cost and go with clear plus 160 for what color liquid will be poured on the winning coach. Is there an option? Does that have to happen? Is it like a no bet if there's no Gatorade poured?
It's a great question. This is a common one. This is on Bovada. I'd have to look at the small print. I would assume if they don't do it, if they don't dump the thing on the coach, it would just be no bet. Right. I don't think that's happened though. I feel like it happens. It's like tradition. It's like saying you're going to Disneyland.
Yeah, but the first time for everything.
It's like a kicker winning an MVP.
Yes, that's true. Maybe they'll pour the Gatorade on the kicker instead of the coach. That'd be something. All right, so clear plus 160 for the Gatorade pour. My last one before my big bet. This is also a big one. I'm doing 2 units on this one. I like Tom Brady over 37.5 passing attempts. So here is his game log for last year's playoffs and this year's playoffs. He's thrown last year 53, 38, 48 passing attempts. This year, 44, 46. So the line's at 37.5. He's cleared that line in his last 5 playoff games. So those are the games when, they're not playing games. They're not trying to disguise things so that there's not film that other coaches can look at for later in the season. They're not worried about, we might give things away. This is do or die. We need to win this game. Here's what we're going to do. And the Patriots, the last 2 seasons, have passed the ball a lot. So I don't see how they don't once again pass the ball a lot. Another thing that plays into that is that the Rams have Donald and Sue on the interior, so they're not going to run up the middle. So they're going to try to attack that defense by going to the outsides a lot with those swing passes, screens, get the ball out as quickly as possible. Brady's average time getting rid of the ball has dropped to 2.4 seconds in the playoffs, down a few tenths of a second from his regular season. So It's going to be a quick passing game. It's going to be those methodical dink and dunk down the field, long drives, but that helps jack up his passing attempt total. So over 37.5. I'm doing 2 units on this. It's one of my favorite plays of the week.
Yeah, I like it too. And in big spots like this, Belichick has in the past not trusted rookies. And as good as Sony Michel has been, he's still a rookie. So I feel like he will err on the side of putting the ball in Brady's hands. I like that one.
All right. So, Dan, you got 2 left. Hit us
All right,
with one of them.
I'll let me rip off my two because I don't really have like a feeling strong either way about like one's not my best bet. So we'll cap it off with your best bet.
All right. Go for
All
it.
right, the first one is one that we talk about this prop every single year. How many players will attempt a pass? I have under 2.5 at -105. It's not fun to bet the under. It's fun to bet on the trick play, like the Philly special last year and right before the Philly special when Julian Edelman threw to Tom Brady. However, both of these teams have done this so many times. The Patriots have done the Edelman throws so many times, and the Rams have run a fake punt with Hecker. I think he's thrown just as many passes as Goff this year, it seems like. They've done it so many times that there's no trickery. Both coaches are going to be ready and prepared for it. That I don't think they're going to bother to do it. The only way I think this actually goes over is if a quarterback gets hurt. And with Ndamukong Suh on the Rams, it's certainly a possibility if he goes knee hunting. But unless that happens, I don't think either of these coaches are going to be trying one of those trick plays in this game. I'll take the under 2.5.
All right. I mean, and sorry, what was the line for the under?
-105.
-105. All right. Yeah, I mean, you laid it out. Those are the two main. I mean, obviously, injury would this be a loss, but you can't really take that into account too often. Yeah, you mentioned the two main ways. Edelman seems to throw a lot of passes in these big games. Did so last year in the Super Bowl with Brady famously dropping it. And then, yeah, I don't think Hecker's going to throw one. I think doing a fake punt 2 games in a row would be ridiculous. I don't see that happening.
You want to talk about juice? Will Hecker throw a pass? No is -600.
Yeah.
-600 is a lot, but he's not going to throw a pass.
Yeah, I know. I actually looked at that and I really thought about it, but -600 was a little too high for me.
I agree.
If it was like -300, I would have definitely pulled the trigger on that one. But yeah, 600 is that's a lot of juice. You'd really have to start. That's like getting into will there be a safety territory, and then I get screwed because there's a freaking safety. and then all my other bets win, and it doesn't matter because I had to bet so much juice on the stupid safety thing. So that it's getting into that territory with Hecker, and I didn't care enough to really do that. Yeah, I mean, your logic's sound. I think there's so much talk about the Edelman throws and the Hecker throws that this is the contrary play to make. So I always like going with the contrary plays. You know that. So all right. Under 2.5 players will throw a pass. That's -105. All right. What's your last one, Dan?
The last one is actually a football-related prop.
Wow. Mine's not. So that's good that we both switched it up on our last one.
I'm just going to go with Todd Gurley over 30.5 receiving yards. The way you beat the Patriots aren't really good at screens. They're not really good at defending screens and wheel routes. And I think that as long as Gurley's healthy, which I think he is, I think that they're going to give him whatever shots or whatever kind of medication he's going to need to at least be healthy for the game. They're certainly not going to make those throws to C.J. Anderson. I don't think any of the other running backs are going to be involved. It'd be a cool time to bust out John Kelly, who I really, really like, but I don't think they're going to do that. So I think if they're going to want to exploit the weakness in the Patriots defense, they're going to have to throw it to Gurley a couple of times. I think he's going to get over 30.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, it's been much discussed that would be the most effective way for the Rams to move the ball is to get outside with against those linebackers in coverage, and Gurley is one of the best receiving backs in the league. Just the only thing with this is nobody knows his health status. It was so weird that C.J. Anderson got the majority of the touches in the NFC Championship game. So I'd just be worried that you would make this bet and then you just see Gurley on the exercise bike for the majority of the game, and you're just like, what's going on? Why isn't he in the game? Yeah, I know it's the Super Bowl, but it was also the NFC Championship game, and maybe the week off has helped, but they also had a bye, and then he came back and still was splitting a lot of carries, and then got the lesser side of the timeshare against the Saints. So that'd be I'm staying away from all Gurley related props for that reason. But hey, I agree. That's if they're going to win the game, they're going to need a big Gurley game. So in that sense, I like where your head's at with that. But yeah, the injury shadows it too much for me to get on board with it.
Fair enough.
All right. So what was the line on that? On over 30 and a half what was the vig?
I believe I believe it's at 110.
All right. So here is my final one. It's a big vig minus 300. Big Boy and Adam Levine will perform Mike Jack during the during the halftime show. They're both performing. We know that. They had a hit single from 2017, not too long ago, about 18 months ago, that they're both in. I don't know how many big hits Big Boy has that, he's going to whip out at the halftime show and not use Adam Levine, who's going to be, standing to the side. I don't see how they don't perform this. It seems like a lock. So minus 300 is a fair amount of juice, but I'm putting a lot of units on it, and I'm saying they perform Mike Jack during the halftime show.
All right, I like it. I don't think can you parlay props or no at your place?
I don't believe you can parlay props, no.
Because I like the prop about the SpongeBob song. Did you see that one?
I saw it mentioned, but I wasn't familiar. That's a Maroon 5 song, right?
Well, I think it was apparently in like SpongeBob SquarePants in an episode they had like the SpongeBob version of the Super Bowl, and at the halftime show they played this song, and it's like kind of popular, and Adam Levine has been hinting that they're going to be playing it, and that when the odds came out it was like plus 250 that they're going to play it, and everyone started pounding it, and now it's like minus 270 that they're going to do it.
Oh yeah, and I mean the creator died. He passed away. It'd be like a nice tribute to him.
That's funny. I thought that's where you were going when you started talking about the halftime of the show, but no, it would be a waste. It would be like having Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper on stage and having them not do The Shallow.
Yep, which they recently did in Vegas at one of her Vegas performances. So.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's high juice, but you're going to win that one.
Yeah. All right. So let's recap here. So Dan is taking Greg Zuerlein to win MVP plus, or it's 66-1. He's taking a little flyer on that. Will Jim Nantz or Tony Romo say the word dynasty during the broadcast? Yes, minus 150. Will there be an animal other than a horse in the Budweiser commercial? Yes, at minus 130, and we believe that to be a lock, so max out on that one if able. Longest field goal will be a higher number than Donald Trump's approval rating. Day of is minus 130. What color liquid will be poured on the winning coach is clear, plus 160. How many players will throw a pass? Dan likes under 2.5 at minus 105. And Todd Gurley, over 30.5 receiving yards, minus 110. That makes up Dan's 7 plays. Mine are as follows. The broadcast will mention Sean McVay's age over 1.5 times at minus 250. Either team will have a successful fourth down conversion, yes, at minus 180. Jared Goff will throw an interception, minus 135. Julian Edelman, over 83.5 receiving yards, minus 115. Putting a couple units on Tom Brady, over 37.5 passing attempts. That's at minus 140. And I'm putting many units to cover the big vig of Big Boy and Adam Levine will perform Mike Jack at minus 300. Lock it in, folks. Let's do it.
Now I have to watch the damn halftime show, which I wasn't going to do, but now I really got to see if you win this.
What were you going to do during halftime? You're not going to watch the halftime show. What's so important?
I don't know. It's Maroon 5 or Adam Levine, though. I can't stand them. I'd find something else to do.
You just tuning into the Puppy Bowl or what?
Yeah. Is the Puppy Bowl during halftime, or is that during is that pregame?
I thought it was all day. I thought it was just on a loop.
You can bet on that too. That's how crazy Super Bowl betting is. You can bet on the winner of the Puppy Bowl. There's a line too.
Yeah, I mean, you can bet on anything these days. So if there's an organized fake dog performance, of course you can bet on it.
Minus 800 that the most valuable pup is a mutt as opposed to a purebred.
Where do you fall on that? What are you
I
taking?
mean, I think it's a lock, but do you want to lay the 800? That's the question.
Yeah, these are the hard choices we have to make at this time of year, Dan. That's why you have to put the research in.
Hey, it's been a pleasure doing this podcast this year. Hopefully, we cap it off with some wins. Hopefully, we cap it off with Greg Zuerlein winning MVP. But yeah, it should be. I mean, I was downplaying it a little bit. It's still the Super Bowl. It's still an exciting time of year. It'll still be fun to watch.
Absolutely. We got, even if you're not ultra excited about the matchup, I mean, it's still two of the best teams in the league. There's still, concert like performances to wager on. There is dog related stuff to wager on. You can wager on singing in the national anthem. You can wager on how many times people say things during the broadcast. I mean, the options are limitless. I don't see how you couldn't somehow have fun with this whole experience.
I
So,
agree.
all right. So, Dan, thank you very much. We will be paying key attention to the kicking game this year, and this will wrap it up for us this year. So thanks for all your winning picks throughout the season. I hope that the listeners out there appreciated them. Good year for you. You broke the snide of a couple poor years in recent years.
You had a pretty good year too this year, didn't you?
I ended up around 500,
All right.
which not a disaster, but not exactly what you're shooting for.
Yeah, and it was awesome doing the podcast. Awesome winning some money, and thank you everybody who listened for your support.
All right, and did you have a column this week on Branded Sports?
I did. It's actually going to go live tomorrow on www.thebrandedsports.com. Tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. Basically everything that I just said in this podcast in written form.
All right, so yeah, check that out, and everybody enjoy the game. Dan will be watching from his apartment where he's only semi-interested and maybe tuning into the Puppy Bowl when necessary. I'll be down in Orlando. I'm going to Universal Studios and Disney World over the course of the week. So I got to find a good spot in Orlando to watch the game Sunday night.
Shouldn't have too much of a problem.
Nah, not at all. Yeah, I gotta look up where it has some good specials. And will allow me to have a long sheet of paper to track all my bets. So, all right, everybody, enjoy the big game, and I guess we won't talk to you for a while. So, take care.
See you next year.